guys, look what is home. The 65 Chevelle Malibu is back. So we got our man Dan the man. He's got her all wired up. And now it's time to get the headlights in, the grill in, get it fired up. Mike's already got the drive shaft in. He's got the exhaust all hooked up now. You can see he's got 2 of the headlights in. The headlights don't fit in the proper buckets, so you got to cut the buckets down to make them fit. Still got to put all the interior back in it. You know, obviously that's all left out. Got to get all the AC lines hooked up in it. But all the gauge cluster in there, Dakota gauges, all that. Everything seems to be working there when you turn the key on. Got to set the radio in it. There's a couple days of work here to do. Got to bleed the brakes still. But yeah, still got a couple other parts we got to put on here and there. But it's home. A little dusty. They all get dusty. It's been sitting here a long time, this car. Well, I've been moving around working on it. And then of course we got the 72 Chevy pickup. It's all finished, welded up, waiting for whatchamacallit, waiting for Sean to get going on the body work. The little 55 Chevy, customer brought it back because we had changed the valve cover gaskets. They were leaking so bad. We kind of washed the engine off and said, well, now take a look at it and see what you think. And it still has a small drip of oil and tranny fluid, but the oil is coming like a typical Chev a little bit at the back of the oil pan and the rear main. So nothing major. Leaves a drop after you've run it and driven it, maybe the size of a quarter, maybe. Transmission about the same. You know, you want to start doing that, like I'm going to suggest to him because he's coming to pick it up. You want to start doing that, well then really just pull the engine, pull the tranny, clean it all up, re-gasket all of it. Honestly, you know, you can lift the engine up, I guess, and try and do it in the car, but for the hassle and the time, just leave it for a winter project. And he does want to bring this car in the winter and rewire it all, so just leave it for then. And of course, then we got the K5 Blazer over there. It's all done, but what we're waiting on is the customer all of a sudden decided he wanted us to put some steps on it down below to get in, because it's, you know, it's fairly high, right? It's got 35-inch tires and that kind of stuff. So he wants to put some steps here, even though it's all rusty. He wants some steps for now, and then he'll bring it back in the fall. We're going to do the body and paint. So I'm waiting on the steps. They don't arrive till next week. So at least, thank God, this thing runs and drives, because you'd never push that son of a bitch around. And then the 56 Ford pickup. Sean's got this all in first primer. I think I already did a video on this. He just finished, actually, over there you can see the doors. He just finished body working the doors all on the inside and putting them in first primer. So we usually like to leave things dry up for a bit, good week or two when it's in primer, because primer shrinks. He's still got to prime the inside, but we're waiting because I mentioned to the customer, where's the headlight switch go? Where's the ignition key go? Where does all that stuff go? Like, you got to have some holes drilled here. So there's no point even doing anything to that until we get it. The 65 Chev, everything's in final primer, and I'm starting to put it together today. You can see I got the grille support on, got the fender on, the cowl on, got all the door stops in. Tomorrow I'll get the other fender on, the other cowl on, and then I'm going to start assembling the box. Everything is going to go on this truck, put the box on it, get all the body lines perfectly crisp and looking good, because the gentleman's ordered the chrome, and the chrome's probably 2 weeks out, and he wants me to put all the chrome on. So you got to make sure the truck is perfectly lined up, then mark and drill and, you know, drill your chrome holes and put them all on. So, you know, until we get that, we'll be to a standstill, but we still got some stuff to do. Sean's working away here on this 1950 Chevy cab. This one's a bit of a rough old girl. She looks better in flat black than she does when you strip it. Yeah. We welded this in because that wasn't in there. But someone's been in here with the body. That's not us. This is what we find when we start stripping it down. So, yeah, lovely.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, and then you can see, like, look at this. Look at this, like, fiberglass cloth or something. I don't know, or fiberglass, whatever. And then he never had any of this welded together. He just had the bolts for the fenders holding it, so I welded all that up. Yeah. Oh, more Bondo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Probably hardly will help.
I guess it will, yeah. Yeah, you can work with it.
That's a Bondo, that yellow?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that good. Yeah, that.
High grade.
Yeah, that. They call it gold or something.
Gold.
Remember? Yeah. That's the good stuff. Yeah.
Very expensive, but I don't-
Oh, it's like 125 a gallon.
That much now?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Beautiful stuff. But
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah, I know. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you go to it. There you slug away. Okay. Sean's gonna be working on my car this weekend. So there we go. There's the doors that 50 Chev pickup. Now, what do we got here? Looks like we got an original 32 chassis with Model A rear cross member, Model A front cross member, an original 32 Ford Firewall with even the original padding on it. Look at this, quick change diff. Wheels and tires are for mock-up. So it came in for us to weld some mounts on, motor mounts. Put the little, I don't know what you want to call them, perches, whatever you want to call them, for your wishbones to go on. We got to make this transmission, take this and make this so it's removable, so you can always just take the tranny out. You're not pulling it all out. Someone's welded it solid. Got to obviously mount this, get it in the right angle. Put some shocks on it, some old school shocks, because guess what is going in that? You'll never guess what's going in it. And this is not anything. Nothing here is reproduction. This is all original. And you Flathead guys are going to go crazy. Any guys in British Columbia here, you know a guy named Luke in Vancouver. He's the guru when it comes to Flatheads and Hemis. Anyway, this engine is, like I say, none of it. The heads, the blower is actually off a tank. Arden heads, oh yeah. All original from Italy, here we go. Look at that bad boy. You know, get up there close. Look at that. England. You guys that know Flatheads know what you're looking at right now. Luke machined up all this kind of stuff and made all that. Never met the man, but I've heard of the man. And everything I ever hear is always like never anything bad to say about him. Look at the blower. See that? If we come around the back here. See right there. You see it in there? The only thing this gentleman said he wished he never had was he wished he was running an older school transmission, but it just ain't going to hold up to this. So he said, now I can't remember exactly. I forget what he said it was, but he had dynoed it, and I think he said they took it up to 4,000 RPM, and it was 300, did he say 302 or 320 horsepower? And I think he said 400 or 450 foot-pounds of torque. He said when this thing is sitting there idling, you swear to God it was a Hemi. He says it just goes ba-bump, ba-bump, ba-bump. Can you believe that? Look at that bad boy. Take a look at that. Luke made up all this, his own oiling system. Drilled this out bigger in the block. Ran all these lines. And then it dumps back down into the pan. He's got it so it's dripping oil, because these heads were known for getting, not enough oil. He made all that. Very talented man. What a beautiful job. What a beautiful engine. The story's more than what I'm just telling you, but all I can tell you is we're putting that in that frame for this gentleman. I'm very excited to be doing this. This is the stuff that I like. Love this stuff. Like, this is just like, oh my God. I don't know, I always say this shop is my heaven in my church. Church is in, people. That is just amazing. That's amazing. I wish it, I could just sit out here and drink a beer and look at this all night long. Like, God, if only that was in that. My own Model A. Probably wonder what I'm doing. I'm just pulling it out. Been playing with it a little bit on a few things, and Mike's been giving me a hand too. Getting ready to get her on the road here pretty quick. So we did a couple changes to it, which I haven't showed you guys yet, but I'll show you later. But that'll be my weekend project. I just kind of pushed it out there right now because I was kind of getting stuff ready and looking things over to see what I need, because tomorrow is Friday. So I don't want to be sitting here Friday and then realize I forgot something. And I can't see squat in that carport because it's not lit up. So I'm going to push it back in here pretty quick. So, but I tell you, my next Model A, which you see in behind that Model A, do you see her back there? There she is. You can just glimpse her. That is a rust-free body. You all saw the video. That's a 30 5-window coupe, and mine's a 31. Anyway, I have big plans for that one. Big plans. If you think this one is nice, my other one's going to be even better. Even better. But yeah, so that in that. And this gentleman is so meticulous on what he does that even when he had to mount his MSD box on there, he has to do that. He has to have it. He made sure he made a plate that matches factory holes. Then he used it to mount that. He's not drilling any extra holes. Like, everything is going to be how it should be. And as far as you see for paint, he said he's just going to scrub that up and leave it alone. The car's got this rough kind of patina look. I tell you, just, oh, amazing. Just amazing. Yeah, very beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Lovely. That stuff is just wonderful. It's nice to see that kind of stuff come in the shop. That's the stuff we want to see. And of course, I have myself. You all remember, I got myself, you know, I've got a, mine's an aftermarket, but on the car you saw in the back there, I've got a 32 frame here. You know, but it's nowhere near as cool as that one. It's just aftermarket. It's got all this stuff in it, but nothing is to stop me from cutting this out either and getting the Model A. I mean, it's got the Model A crossmember in the front, but nothing's to stop me from doing the back. But we'll see. We'll see. I may not be, you know, I don't know. We'll take it one step at a time, right? And there's my 58 Ford. And of course, this truck here, we got the engine trannies all gone now, so I'm just waiting on a, I'm actually waiting on a mount that I need to put in that truck, and then we can weld that in and set the engine tranny in place and get everything mocked up in there. And then I can, this is the engine Ford I bought her. It's been rebuilt. It's a little 256 cylinder with under 100,000 K on it. It was all rebuilt. It runs like a dream. So the plan is just clean that up, paint it orange again and black, whatever, keep it stock looking, or maybe we'll paint it blue, more something that would suit that era of that truck. I don't know. Maybe you can just paint all black. Who knows? Anyway, yeah, we're going to put that in there with a turbo 350 all rebuilt and some disc brakes and new wiring kit, and then she'll be able to drive it. Because the old engine, you have to buy all these adapter kits and run a turbo 350, and why not just run a newer 6-cylinder? So we'll put that in there, and she's just going to leave that truck looking like it looks, you know, kind of rusty looking, and that'll be that. And yeah, don't know what else to tell you. That's what's happening here at the shop today. My God. Just, you know, just one more time. We just got to do this one more time. I can't help it. I can't help it. Look at, God. That's just amazing. Whew. If that don't get you excited, well then you ain't a true hot rodder. I'm sorry. Or you just don't like flatheads. If you don't like flatheads and it doesn't get you excited, okay. But if you're a flathead guy, I should say, and if that don't crank you up, I don't know. Yeah. If you don't like that, you don't like yourself. That's all I gotta say. Anyway, yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'm gonna go push my car inside now. It's almost 5:30. Get my ass inside, rotate some cars. I'm just waiting on the customer to come get his 55. I told him I'd wait a little later than normal for him. Normally if you're not here by 4 o'clock, oh well, that's the way it is. But certain people I'll wait for. You know how it goes. Okay, catch you next time at Old Time.